The Human Torch was denied a bank loan.
Yes, it was. I felt really flat in that video.
These are Anchorman references, that's why you have to get them in.
I don't know what the Anchorman is, but okay, yeah. Hi everyone, I'm Karen.
I'm James.
And we're the Rogers. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. So today we are actually going to be talking about goals.
Goals! Goals! Oh, girlfriend! Oh. We thought that one of the first videos that we do has to be about goal setting in terms of a family. Okay? So you don't move individually anymore as a family, obviously. So you have to be sure that you're on the same page. Like if Karen had one set of goals and I had a different set of goals, and it turned out that they couldn't work together, and we started drifting apart, chasing these two different areas that we're trying to reach in our own lives, then there's an old proverb that says, a man that chases two rabbits catches none. And that kind of works with goal setting as a family. So this video is about how you can set goals as a family, and that should be the top level, like strategic layer, and then individually break those down into personal goals.
Yeah.
So the first thing that me and Karen did when we kind of had this big conversation about communication, where we're going and where we want to get to, the main point was that Karen and I had similar goals to begin with. Okay, and you'll find that especially in a family, if you share the same value sets with your partner, then the likelihood of you having the same kind of aspirations as them is high. So the goals that you each set will be quite similar. So the family goals are obviously going to be, well, the family goal, the main family goal is going to be bang on where you need it to be. So the main family goal is something that keeps everyone ticking over and a general direction for the family to be moving in.
Yeah, something that we can all work towards.
And a goal shouldn't necessarily be, now this is strange, a goal shouldn't necessarily be achievable. Okay, it should be, especially the top level goal, should be really difficult to achieve. So that makes it kind of a constant process of improvement. If it was an easy to reach goal, especially at that level, once you've reached it, that's kind of it. But the goal should be nearly unachievable to make you as a family like keep honing your vision and your views and your skill set to make sure that you can get there. As a family. Yeah,
constantly aspiring to achieve what it is that you set out to achieve. And if the goal is big enough, then you'll work harder and harder each time you think you're about to reach it in order to reach it. And I think that's one of the best ways to kind of see progression in yourself and also in your family as a whole.
But here's the main thing that people get hung up on. People set a goal and think that that is it. But the great thing about a goal is that as you come closer to it, or maybe when you achieve it, you realise, that wasn't quite where I was looking to go, or I learned some things along the way, and now I'm looking in this direction, I think this is definitely the way to go, or this is really interesting to me. I'm going to go and have a look at this. So once you've got this main family goal, you've had the conversation, and you've decided where your life is going-ish at this point in time, okay? Then you can draw down this year's set of goals.
But firstly, you guys are probably wondering, how the heck do we set family goals? Or how the hell do we set, excuse my French, do we set one big family goal basically? And that's all to do with communication. You have to sit down with your partner and you need to communicate what you want to achieve, and you need to listen to what the other person wants to achieve. And when you do that, you can then come together and make a plan on something that you want to achieve together as a family, and make it the top goal for you to then be able to break it down into smaller goals for you to achieve the bigger goal, if you see what I mean. So the only way you can set a family goal really is to communicate with the other person. I mean, James and I, we spoke a lot about our goals, what we wanted to achieve, what we wanted to do, what makes us happy, what makes us sad, you know, what annoys the heck out of us, you know. And we kind of came together and we came to a happy medium in a sense. And in the end, the top goal that we ended up producing was as good for me as well as it was for him, as well as it was for the children. So that's one of the main things that I honestly urge you to do, is definitely communicate with your partner.
I fully agree with that. I mean, you can't have a good relationship if you're not communicating with the other person.
Exactly.
And the really hard thing is that some people that you learn from are just on that solo journey. Okay? And then you try and apply that to your own life and you're like, why isn't it working? Why is it so difficult? It's because you're in tandem with this other person, and that you should be working together with them to get in the same direction. So once you've got your big family goal, you'll know where everyone is going to. You've got your kind of end destination, more of like a mantra that your family's like moving towards. Then you can draw down your yearly goal. You can draw down the set of things that you want to achieve this year as a family to bring you closer to that main
ultimate goal.
The ultimate goal. So we've got a set of 2019 goals, a few sentences really, just to help guide us this year with a set of things to achieve to get us close to that main goal. Words. So we've got this 2019 goal. Then from there we can draw down our individual goals. Okay, so from our family 2019 goal, we can go, right, my goals are this. I need to achieve these things in order to contribute to that 2019 goal and ultimately the ultimate goal, right? So Karen gets a set as well of things that she needs to achieve in order to help get her piece of the family to that direction. So collectively, we're all moving towards that one direction.
Yeah.
But it all relies on that initial communication.
Yeah.
Because every day you wake up in the morning and you're like, right, I know I'm doing this thing today, because ultimately it feeds into where the family wants to go.
Exactly.
That's why communication is so important in this.
Yes.
That's why this had to be one of the first videos.
So when you are breaking down your goals in terms of like the yearly goal, when you're breaking that down, you always have that goal in mind, always have that top goal in mind. But because you want to achieve that year's goal, basically, you have to look at where you stand in the family and where the other person stands in the family and what it is that you can contribute in order to achieve that goal. So take for instance, I am working right now and James is staying at home looking after the kids. Before that, the roles were reversed and I stayed home with the kids and James would go out and find work. And that's how we managed to bring the income. But because I was looking after the children, it gave James more time to be able to work on his business and also bring more money in as well, with a different job. But now, seeing as how he's done it full time, it's going really, really well. But the problem is that he is not accumulating as much income as I would going to a normal 9-to-5 job like I was before. So the roles have kind of been reversed and I've decided to go back to work full time and he's taken the reins with the children whilst also doing his business. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that he's looking after the children 24/7, 7 days a week. No, we have put in place things that are going to help him have the time to work on the business himself. So that means childcare, getting the grandparents involved, getting our friends involved, you know, all the little bits and pieces that we can draw from everyone else in order to achieve this yearly goal of ours. So then that makes me feel a little bit more better when I go to work, because then I know that James has additional help looking after the children so that he can fully concentrate on the business, basically.
That kind of comes from a conversation we'll probably have in another video. Now that you know how we've laid it out and the theory behind, you know, setting the goals and communication and drawing from that top level downwards, we wanted to talk about ours.
Okay, so we have our big Rudge family goal and this is it. So the Rudge family goal is obviously written down because I'm human and I'm never going to remember it all completely, but our top level goal is to work towards a life of joy and abundance, continuously expanding our minds, sharing our lessons with others and helping them grow. That is originally what we want to achieve, top level.
Top level.
So in 2019, our family goal is to add an additional revenue stream to the family using geo-dislocating models to replace existing streams and remove physical
presence
requirements.
Let me.
That is
It
very
means-
technical, but that's because James wrote it, so he's gonna break it down for you right now.
Break it down.
Okay.
Break it down. So, from the top level goal, we've got the 2019 goal, and it's to add an additional revenue stream to the family. Okay, so the first piece means that at the present moment in time, we have a single source of reliable income, which is Karen's 9-to-5 job. Okay, time for money model, right? Karen has to be there, so that's where the physical presence requirement comes in. It means that our family is attached through Karen to this location. Okay, it's not a bad thing. It's how it's done right now for the majority. But the goal for this year is to remove that requirement. So using geo-dislocating models, right? Geo-dislocating means you don't have to be here.
Basically,
you're not attached.
in the layman's terms,
Geography. Geography. So geo-dislocating, which means you're not attached to anywhere.
Yeah.
Models, okay?
Yeah.
I say models as in the structure of the business to replace existing streams. Now that means that the net profit of the business and subsequent pay from that business that you set up needs to cover the full-time income stream that Karen brings in at this point in time.
Yeah.
Okay, and then probably some on top of that as well. So not just a one-for-one trade with the income, but definitely have a buffer built into that as well.
Yes, definitely.
So that's the goal for 2019, and then from there we've drawn down our individual goals.
Yeah.
So Karen's goal
is to continue working and then to provide support by looking after the kids wherever I can, wherever possible, basically. So technically I've got the hardest job.
Anyone?
I'm kidding.
Anyone?
I'm joking, babe.
Okay, so then my goal to
Yeah.
facilitate our 2019 goal is to build the revenue stream. Primary goal is to build the revenue stream and then look after the kids when Karen is working as the secondary goal. I know it sounds bad and you might say, oh, the kids should come first. The kids can't come first if we can't put a roof over their head. That's why business first, family second.
Yeah.
Business, pleasure, it's always been like that. The kids are getting looked after regardless, but the primary effort for me has to be to set up this revenue stream. But if we put the kids first, then we'd never put ourselves in a position where we can get out.
Exactly, or where we can actually give our children more than we ever had, in a sense. I'm not going to see Amara taking her first steps, but James can easily record that for me whilst I'm at work. And yes, it might be hard for me to take on to begin with, but at the same time, I know what our goal is, I know what our 2019 goal is, and I know what our ultimate goal is. And I know that when she hits 5 years old, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be able to help her. I'm going to be able to sing with her. I'm going to be able to play with her. And we're going to create those memories as a family because we put in the time now to free up the time for them. Do you see what I mean?
I see what you
Can I get an amen?
Amen. Sing it, sister. Sing it.
Which in turn kind of brings us to the children's goals, which we've set for them, which is expanding their minds and to stay healthy and joyful as well. So we want to make sure that we are creating an environment for them that is happy all the time. It might not necessarily be all the time, we may get frustrated, but we aim to keep an environment which is happy for the children, which is a nice environment for them to grow up in, so that they don't feel stressed all the time or they don't see us being stressed. And again, that is all to do with communication, because when I'm stressed coming home from work, I have to talk to James about it, you know? So with James, when I come home and he's been stressed with the children because he's had a full-on day with them and they've been doing his head in, that means I can then come in and take the pressure off a little bit so that he can breathe and take some time to just come back to center and get back to the happy family environment that we intend to create for them. Having a child and looking after a child full time is difficult. It's not easy whilst you're trying to set up a business. It's not easy.
It's
trying
hard.
to
It's hard
juggle
anyway.
the two. It's hard anyway.
It's hard
you know,
anyway, and
being a parent is a full-time job in itself, and then trying to set up something to set your family up for life is a big thing in itself. So doing the both of them together, no wonder why he'll be stressed.
So a resource for this goal setting session, actually where the quote was from about the two chasing the two rabbits, It's from a book called The One Thing.
Oh yeah.
Okay, The One Thing, you can see it's bent and battered and stuff. It's one of my favourites. This book basically helps you set big goals, all right, and get them crystal clear in your head, and then helps you break down those massive goals into single actions and steps that you can take to achieve them. So this book was really helpful in helping me fragment down, first of all, my personal goals, and then for the family goals, and to really work it through. And I've used the principles in this book when I was talking to Karen to help really solidify where we're going. So if you are struggling a little bit with what we've spoken about, and you're struggling to set in your mind where you want to be, and then getting your family on rails, okay, getting them all in the same direction, so that any work that anyone does is pushing the family in the direction that you've spoken about with your partner, and you know you want to be going in, okay, and that you know that if you achieve that goal, it's where you both want to be, and that's a really special place for you to be in. So, New York Times bestseller. Get it, read it. It's not a long read. I mean, it's 220 pages, so you should be able to eat that in like a very small period of time. Okay, so I'll post a link in the description box of the video for this book, so you can go pick up your copy. Fully recommended. Gary Keller and Jay Papasan.
I love that last name, that's so cool. So, thank you so much for watching our video. That is the end of today's video, and if you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to discuss anything, please write it down in the comments below. Give us a subscribe, and also tell a friend about us. You know, let them know that we are out here doing it and that they're not alone, and you guys are not alone. This is always a family, and this is definitely a unit where we could work together and talk together and encourage each other as well. So until our next video, we will see you soon.
Bye.
How was that?
That was good. That was a better one.